Yeehaw, we're almost there. We're to STAAR review number 9, and we are almost to the end where you all can show me everything you learned this year. And I know you all sat in that chair and you learned a lot. So here we go. We're almost to the end. We've got a couple more of these, and then we're done, and we'll get our test done, and we'll be ready to go. Okay, on to high school. Here we go. Alright, so today I can use the formulas of surface area of prisms and cylinders to solve problems. Again, that wonderful little STAAR reference guide. I hope you can fill it out and fill it out good. Here we go. What goes here? Oh, please fill it out with me. And P means not proportional. P means proportional. Slope. That's where you're going to find slope from a table. It also is rise over run on a graph, not run over rise. Area. This is where you find your big B formulas. And we basically use 3 of them. This one, and this one. Then we have here surface area. So we're going to put S, A, or an S. Either one is acceptable. Then we have the V for volume, Pythagorean theorem. Then we have simple interest and compound interest. Remember, compound interest is solving for account balance. Simple is solving for I interest. I don't think we're going to be going over this again, so just wanted to bring that up. So today we are on surface area, and surface area is in here, but you notice you've got some big P's and some big B's, which means we're going to be going back to here. You have one of these charts in your packet today, so please fill it out. I did this here. I gave you one here so you could fill it out with me, but once you get your packet, please fill it out and make sure it gets turned in. So here we go. Notes. Surface area. A rectangular prism and its dimensions are shown in the diagram. What is that word? Lateral. So I'm going to write a big L for loser. No, I mean lateral. Okay. Surface area. So in here I'm going to circle my base, which is what it's sitting on for a rectangular prism. Okay. I only need lateral, so I need to go to my surface area formulas. I've got L for lateral and T for total, and maybe some of you need to really highlight that because I see everybody always wanting to do the total, and you don't want to do the total if all you need is lateral. So lateral prism. A prism is either a rectangular prism or a triangular prism for 8th grade surface area. All right, so this time, and it's both the same here, it's when you use your big B in total that you have to change your formula for that big B. I wish this, because that big B is the area of the base. So we're going to write S equals PH. S equals PH. Okay, big P is your perimeter of the base. How do we find perimeter of any shape? Think. I think that was a Winnie the Pooh thing, right? Think, and he tapped the side of his head. Perimeter of a rectangle is, or anything, triangle, I don't care what shape it is, all you have to do is add all the sides. Now, rectangle, how many sides should you have? Well, think. A rectangle has how many sides? 4 sides. So, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Please label them. So, perimeter is P equals 5 plus 5 plus 7.5 plus 7.5. And some of you won't want to write it down because you just, I understand being a lazy mathematician. I only want to do what I have to do too. But let me tell you, one question, one test, one time. Do it. Write it down. Okay? And I think today's packet, you've only got 8 questions. So write everything down. All the steps, everything. Okay? Because I only gave you 8 questions. All right? So do it. Write all your steps. Show me all your work. You only have 8 questions to do today. Okay? So I'm going to put it in my handy dandy calculator. 5 plus 5 plus 7.5 plus 7.5 plus. I hope to be seeing all of you pushing these buttons with me as I'm doing it, because I'm going to be watching on when you're doing it. And it is equal to 25. All right. The height of the prism we want to identify, that is the one that is not part of the circle. It is not the height of the base, it's the height of the prism. And I really wish they'd make this a big H. P, big H. Because if they did that, then we would distinguish between those two H's. So, but I don't have any say in that. 25, please use a time sign because when you have decimals, they get all mixed in. Times 6.5, and now I'm going to put 25 times 6.5, and I get 162.5. That is my answer. Okay? Here we go. A triangular prism and its dimensions are shown in the diagram. What is the T, total surface area of this triangular prism in square inches, okay? So that's just a fancy way to say, you know, inches. When you're in the second dimension, you're in inches squared or square inches, okay? Don't worry about that. Don't let it throw you. First thing we do, circle the base, which is a triangle because it's a triangular prism. And I notice here that I'm missing a side of my triangle. So I think that's this right here. So it goes right back down over here and I get 2.5. I'm going to label that and I'm going to show you because this is the tricky one when they give you all these numbers and you don't know quite what you want to do. Here is your triangle, so to count your perimeter, you're counting all the way around that triangle, okay? So I guess I need to identify the height of my prism. So I'm going to come out here, and I'm going to put H for the height of my prism. I'm going to come over here, and I need a T for total. So T for total surface area of a prism is pH plus 2 big B. So I'm going to write that right here. pH plus 2 times big B. Now I'm going to need a P and I'm going to need a big B. Perimeter of a triangle is just like every shape. I need a P. So I'm going to put in here 2.5 plus 4 plus 2.5. In other words, I've gone away, all the way around my triangle. And I'm going to also put for my big, well, let's start with this first. So I'm going to put in 2.5 plus 4 plus 2.5. And I get that number is 9. So that's my P. My big B. You need to go to your area formulas, and this is a triangle. So the area of a triangle is 1/2 times big B times little b times h, which I'm going to write right here, 1/2 times little b times h. This h is different than this h. Remember that. This h is the height of the prism. And in a triangle, the base and the height are always connected by a right angle. So I'm going to put in here 1/2 times my base, because see this is connecting, 4 times this part right here, which is indicated with this little arrow going over there, 1.5. So now I'm going to put in 0.5 times 4 times 1.5. Because I used 0.5 for here, I also could have done parentheses, 1 divided by 2 parentheses, times 4 times 1.5. Some of you will use alpha F1 for your 1/2. Any of those are acceptable. You are going to get the same answer, 3. Okay? So now I'm ready to plug some things in. So do I know what my P is? Yes, 9 times the height of my prism, 9.6 plus 2 times my big B is 3. Now, some of you are sitting there, you're just writing this all down, you're not using the calculator, you're not participating, and then you're going to look at me and say, I don't know what to do. Okay? I've been through this all year. You have to participate as I'm teaching you. Push the buttons, write the information down. Pause me if I'm going too fast. Then start me back up, okay? Because this is your last chance to learn this. All right? Then I'm ready to put all this into my calculator, and you can do it all in one step. It is 9 times 9.6 plus 2 times 3. And I get 92.4 as my answer. Okay? All right, let's flip it over. The other type of figure that we will have is a cylinder. And if you get a cylinder for a surface area question, you should not get it wrong. All right? So let's see. Cylinder and its dimensions are shown in the diagram. Which measurement is closest to the lateral? This is the key. L is my lateral surface area of a cylinder. Okay, so I got to go to surface area formula. I go to cylinder, and I have to be under lateral. So I only need 2 times pi times r times h. So I'm going to say S is equal to 2 times pi times r times h. Now, this is meant to be a multiple choice because it's saying closest. Okay? So just so you know that, whenever it says closest, it's because you're working with pi, and you're going to get a bunch of numbers after your decimal. All right? So you're always going to choose the closest one. So what do we need here? We need to circle our base. Here's my base. It is a circle. Okay? I need to identify the height of my prism. And I need 2, all right, I know what 2 is, times pi times r. Do I have an r or a d? This is just like volume. You cannot use a d and find your answer. So this is a d because it's all the way across. It's a diameter. So this is a d, so I need to do what to that 8.4? Hopefully you said in your head or out loud, divide by 2. Okay? R is a diameter divided by 2. So here we go, 8.4 divided by 2, and I come up with 4.2 for my R. So I just plug that in, 4.2 times, and this is why I like you to use time signs when you're doing surface area and volume, because you end up with decimals, times 10.9, and those get all confusing. So this is only lateral. Remember, I didn't have to do, but there's no big B in cylinder, so it's really cool. So if it's total, it would just be 2 times pi times r squared, okay? You'd add that to it. So cylinders are neat because you don't have to mess up with a big B, okay? The only thing you can mess up with a cylinder is rounding or not using a radius, using a diameter. All right, so let's put this in our calculator. 2 times second and pi times 4.2. Oops, I put 4.5, didn't I? So I need to go back over there. I can highlight it and put 2 instead of 5 times 10.9. And I hit enter, and I get 287.6442222. Now, I'm going to go over rounding again. And I'm going to do it with the calculator. If they had asked me to round this to the nearest tenth, I'd hit mode, and I would highlight 1. So I'd come down, highlight 1, and I would hit enter, and I could go back, second, and quit, and I could hit enter again after I got my answer, and it would round my answer to the nearest tenth. All I did was hit enter, okay? So that's the nearest tenth. If they had asked me to the nearest hundredth, I would hit mode. I would go down and come over to 2. I would hit enter. I would hit second and quit, and then I would hit enter again, and it rounds it to the nearest hundredth. It's really easy to use, so you just need to know 1 is the nearest tenth, 2 is the nearest hundredth. But once you do that, you need to put your calculator back on float. So we're going to do that. We're going to go mode and hit highlight float, hit enter, hit second and quit, and I'm back. See, if I hit enter, I get all those decimals after. Okay? So that's your answer. Good to go. I would either be picking the closest if it was multiple choice, or right now I showed you how you could get to the nearest tenth or the nearest hundredth. Okay? And I would wait till you end the problem to round that. Okay? I would not do that in the beginning. All right, last one. All right, a rectangular prism and its dimensions are shown in the drawing. What is the total total surface area of the rectangular prism in square inches? All right, and the reason we chose this is because you have a lot of decimals. All right, so total rectangular prism, this is what I know. I'm going to circle my base. Okay, I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to go to surface area prism total. Okay, pH plus 2 big B. So I'm going to write S equals pH plus 2 big B. So I'm going to need a P, which is perimeter, and a big B, which is the area of my base. It's not base, it's the area of my base. So when I need area of a base, I'm going to go area of a rectangle, and that is little b times h. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to say little b times h. Now, all these are in fractions. For you alpha F1 people, you're good to go. If you're not an alpha F1 person, then you need to do this. You need to convert. And what I'm going to do is convert my fraction parts before I even start with my answer. So I'm going to put 1 divided by 4. And I know I need to add that to 11. So right now I'm going to put 11.25 in that spot. And I know if this side is that, then this side is 11.25. Then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do 1 divided by 2. And I know that that is 3.5 now. And if that side is 3.5, this side is 3.5. Okay? The last one I'm going to convert. Remember, this is everything I need for P and big B. It's inside my circle. This is the height of my prism, but I can't use 4.5 if I'm not an alpha F1 person. So I am going to do 1 divided by 2 because, you know, I'm blonde and I forget what it is really easily. And so I'm going to write 4.5. And I'm even going to put that in for my height of my prism right now. I am going to say that is 4.5. Now I'm going to multiply that times my perimeter, and then I'm going to add 2 times whatever my big B is. All right? So now I need a P and a big B. So my perimeter over here, 3.5 plus 11.25 plus 3.5 plus 11.25. Ask yourself, is it a rectangle? How many sides does a rectangle have? So that you won't forget. I can't write 3, I better write 4. 3.5 plus 11.25 plus 3.5 plus 11.25. Hit enter, and I get 29.5. Okay, so that's my P, so I can put that in 29.5. Now all I have left is to use the base and the height of my rectangle, my base. So here we go, it's base times height. 11.25 times 3.5. And I know a lot of my students right now are not writing it down. They just put it in their calculator and they're getting their answer. I'm telling you, 8 problems today. I want it all written down. I'm going to look individually. I'm not just going to grade the front. Okay? 11.25 times 3.5. And I get, ooh, look at that. 39.375, okay? So then I'm going to plug that in for big B, 39.375. I can do all this math in one shot. 29.5 times 4.5 plus 2 times 39.375. And for those of you who like to cram all your numbers real close together, leave space so you recognize when is it a plus, when is it a multiply. I know I'm going on today, but there's only 8 problems. Hit enter, and I get 211.5 as my answer. And if I needed to round it, because remember I had extra digits there, I had thousandths place, I could have done that because I just showed you how. You have 8 problems today, okay? That is it, all right? And most of them, you've got a couple fill in the blanks. You've got several that are multiple choice. And please show all your work.